Everywhere on YouTube air travel channels, all we hear about is how wonderful business class is on this airline or that airline, and how we should all aspire to fly business class and avoid that perceived hell of that dreaded economy class. How business class is really the only way to go. And just imagine, there we are, we're having champagne and eating caviar, and it's just wonderful, and we have these wonderful lie flat seats and all this wonderful stuff, and surely that's the only way to go. Well, I wonder if that's really true, or whether we're all being conned that this is the only way that this could go. And is this really worth it? Does this really make any sense? Okay, so Tanya and I, we flew the other day on American Airlines business class from Charlotte to Frankfurt. The flight was a little less than 8 hours, about 7 hours, 57 minutes actually. We flew in business class. And I have to tell you, it was a wonderful experience. Don't get me wrong, it was very nice. And we were able to fly on reward points so that we got through our Capital One Venture X card. So it didn't cost us as much as it normally would. But even so, this one-way flight, when you add in the fuel charges and the surcharges and the other things they do, this still cost us $848 each. Okay, well, $848, we're flying economy, that would make sense, and so we used our points. Okay, that's fine. But if this wasn't the case, was this a good use, even at that, of our points in dollars? Or did we fall into that aspirational trap that we just had to fly business class? Well, before we answer that question, let's look at what we got for that, for our dollars, and how does this compare to what we would have gotten if we had flown economy? Okay, let's break this into several categories. Okay, superior service. Okay, indeed, in business class, you have many more flight attendants taking care of you. And so they're coming around all the time. They're very polite. They're, I don't want to say overly nice, but they're very nice. How are you, sir? How's everything? Do you need anything? You know, it's very sweet. More than you would get in economy. Okay. The seat configuration in business class on this Boeing 777-300 is a 1-2-1. Pretty good. And so you have lots of room, and you're sitting in these pods, as you can see here. The seats do all kinds of things. They can go backwards and more positions than you would have normally in economy, and you can lie flat. So presumably you can get a good night's sleep. That's kind of the concept. You get an amenity bag, and Tanya will demonstrate that to you right now. food and wine. Yes, before takeoff, you are offered either a soft drink or a Prosecco or something else like that, so you can have a drink before you're flying. And you are given a little cup of warmed mixed nuts. Very nice. They come, and when there's any kind of service, they put down a nice mat for you. It's very nice. You are given a menu which tells you what you're going to be getting, and you have a choice of items. On this particular flight, we had 2 meals. We had the evening meal, and then it's an overnight flight, so the next morning then you had a breakfast meal, and you have a choice of these things. And they were all very good, and you can see here some of the types of entrees, main courses, that you can expect. And then, of course, there's the beloved chocolate sundae, which Tanya tried out and said it was delicious. Okay. Restrooms. Here you see what the restrooms look like in business class on American on this 777. They're a little bigger than you would have in economy. Okay. So however many times you use that on your flight, okay, that's good. You're guaranteed adequate carry-on space if you're in business class, because there just simply aren't that many passengers up there, so you're going to get your bag on. Another advantage is you can get on the plane first, you get off the plane first, presumably. You're all kind of, when you're leaving, the people are coming in from the other direction from economy class and premium economy, so you kind of merge. But, in general, you get off the plane earlier. So with all of these advantages of being in business class, let's look at what this really costs if you're not flying on points and you had to pay for it just out of hand. Well, I looked up and I saw what this same flight, it's flight 704 from Charlotte to Frankfurt, what this flight would cost if I was going to take it another month from now. And I looked at what was the lowest price that I could pay. One way from Charlotte to Frankfurt, in economy it would be $516. Premium economy would be $1,853, and flying this same flight on business class would be $5,283. Okay, so your question then becomes, is that really worth it? If you think about it in terms of dollars per hour that you're flying, that $52.83, that's costing you $660 per hour that you're on this less than 8-hour flight. Well, is that worth it to you? I don't know. Versus $65.75 an hour if you're flying in economy. If the lie flat seat is really important to you in business class, and for us, this was a real draw. We thought, this is going to be so cool. We're going to be able to sleep, and it'll be wonderful. We'll arrive refreshed, and it'll be great. And it was great. Don't get me wrong. That was nice. But how great is that? If you figure that if an average hotel room costs $150 a night, well, that's that money that we paid for that $5,283. That's 35 hotel nights. That's 35 nights in a hotel where I'm sleeping in a lie flat bed, and I've got my wife next to me. I mean, it's even better. And it's if flying flat is a big deal, I can 35 versus 1. Okay, that's a pretty easy one to figure out. If you're thinking about in terms of how many trips you could take, for that same amount that you would pay in business class, you could take 10 economy trips of that same thing. Well, maybe you don't fly that often, so maybe that's not worth it to you. Don't know it. Okay, so those are kind of the things that you might want to look at. When would it be worth it to pay that extra money and or fly business class, period? Number one, if somebody else is paying for it. Of course. Then there's no problem. It's definitely more fun than being in economy. If you have some kind of physical limitation or some kind of requirement that prevents you from sitting for a long time in a certain position, and you absolutely have to stretch your legs out, Maybe security, if that's important, if you're some kind of a celebrity or you don't want people to notice you or be bugging you, okay, well then maybe that's worth it to be in business class because there were so few people in comparison to being in economy. But if you're that famous, well, you probably can afford your own charter private jet, or you'll be flying a corporate jet of some kind. So, you know, how famous are you, I guess, and how important is that? So the summary of this is, I think that we're all falling for, I don't want to say a bunch of hooey, but, you know, is it really that important to fly business class? Yeah, okay, you've got some minor discomfort. The food in economy, okay, you're not going to get all this, you know, the warm towel and the champagne all the time, whatever. You don't even get champagne all the time in business. I mean, and if you think about sleeping quality, well, okay, on this flight, because if you deduct from your sleeping time the time that they're serving and so forth, I mean, you have a maximum of 5 hours that you're going to be lying flat and sleeping. And I don't know about you, but for me, if I'm in economy or even premium economy, which is what we will generally do if we can, I'm going to get that amount of sleep anyway. No, I'm not lying flat. Can I endure it for that period of time, especially in relation to 35 more nights in a hotel? Yeah, I sure as heck can. I just want to throw that out to you as to whether this is really something that we all really need to do on these long flights, is to fly business class, or whether we're just being sold a bill of goods here and we're being told that this is the only way that you can do it. It's the only way that it's worth it. Let us know in the comments what you think and whether you think it's worth it. That's it for now. See you next time. Bye-bye. Happy flying.